You've become this huge voice in loving your body. When was that kind of shift, that moment when you're like, this is unhealthy and I want to change the conversation, not only for yourself, but other women and girls?
I was 27. I just had this experience where I was like, I am killing myself. If I don't stop this pattern, I'm gonna die.
Emily Nolan was a top fashion model, but beneath the glossy images, something was very wrong.
You'd be hot if you were 20 pounds skinnier. And I thought to myself, this is unreal.
Emily has struggled with eating disorders and body dysmorphia for the majority of her life.
I was willing to risk my life to cover up that shame.
Numerous cosmetic procedures didn't create the image she longed to see in the mirror, so Emily dug within to learn to love the woman who looked back at her.
Body image, like approaching just loving my body instead of being afraid of it and feeling unworthy.
Emily decided to change the direction of her modeling career and her approach to self-acceptance.
I am unwritten, can't read my mind, I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten.
Today I have with me Emily Nolan, who is in 2014 named by Mind Body Green as one of the most influential women in wellness. I want to thank her for joining me today and writing a love letter to your younger self. We were just chatting a little bit about this, and you were a little nervous. Not nervous, but it was hard.
It was a project. It was an assignment. It wasn't like a journaling entry for sure. I wasn't sure, first of all, which younger self I was going to write to.
Emily has struggled with eating disorders and body dysmorphia for the majority of her life.
If I don't stop this pattern, I'm going to die. I have this blood disorder called factor V Leiden, and so when I go into a full body liposuction and they're going into like 12 to 15 parts of my body, I'm risking my life. I stole a can of tuna and went into the bathroom and ate it, locked the bathroom door and ate it. And my French grandmother comes out like, in Italian even, when she's real mad, she's like, pasta così, like, don't eat that, and like, we've got fresh fish coming out. And I was like literally sitting on the toilet eating because I had been shamed around food my entire life.
Yeah, and you got to take that back and write a letter about it.
Yes.
You want to get into it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's do it.
Dear warrior, use your bravery to listen in to who you are throughout the years. There will be challenging moments that make your heart break, and you'll need to be there to love yourself fiercely. You'll need your friends and family too, to lean on for help, because you can't do everything always. Sometimes you'll need help. Everyone does, and don't be afraid to ask for it.
So I have a question about this because I've noticed something in talking to you. You've mentioned like a couple times, I didn't tell my mom.
Yes.
But you talk about how everyone needs help. Is that something that you had to learn? And is that as you got older and became more aware of that 27-year-old moment? Or was it prior to that?
I have always felt shame about telling anyone anything that's like
deep.
Yeah, in there, fermenting, right? And gosh, my mom just wants to see me win. I just had a really hard time telling her because I didn't want her to think it was her fault.
Emily went from self-loathing to leading a global conversation about body image and self-acceptance. She's doing this through books, blogs, yoga, and an inspirational movement she calls Be Pretty Brave.
I looked up and there was this massive mountain that I had to climb. It was the last mountain at the end of the island. It's like something within me, this divine whisper was like, you got to do this. You've got to see what's on the other side of this mountain. Halfway up, it's just like killing me and I'm like exhausted and I want to stop and my feet even hitch like a horse. And I'm alone and there's no houses and I start pounding my chest. I'm like, brave, brave, brave. And I'm crying and my face is red and like I'm dehydrated and I just keep slamming my chest, brave, brave. And like,
because you're forcing yourself on.
In that moment, I released all of the feelings of needing to be secretive. And I was like, you know what? I am brave. I am brave enough to talk about everything in my life because I'm not the only one going through this stuff. And the only way we can learn is if we all talk about it. And I get to the very top of the mountain. Something divine had called me up there, and I'm staring at this lonely traffic mirror looking right back at me with a heart that had been drawn into it. And I see myself and I'm like, that's the woman I love.
I'm raising I have a little girl. I'm raising a woman. She acts like a woman already.
A woman child.
She is very wise, very wise. But at 5 years old, she already is very aware of her body. And already, Mom, do I look pretty? Mom, someone said that I'm too skinny. Mom, someone said this. Mom, someone said that. Is this true? And I love that my daughter has the presence of mind to ask me, is this true? And stuff, she comes home with questions. And I'll be like, no, that's not true. That's a story that we're being told. Let's talk through that. Yeah. But my message to her is, you are born perfect. The moment you come out, you are perfect. It's the stories that come after that, no matter where they come from, that we have to kind of work through and figure out what's true and what's not. If there is one thing that you could say to any woman or girl today, heart to heart, and you had a chance to really get to them, what would you say? What would you want to leave them with?
My first thought is you're perfect just the way you are, because it's something I always say. But if I could tell them anything, that's, be brave. Be brave enough to believe that you're perfect just the way you are.
That's very powerful. Thank you for doing this.
Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten.